Picture line number 2 is the right side switch. The entry for this picture line, we're going to use a contra check, followed by our right side switch, followed in exit by the oversway. So we'd now like to dance this for you to music. Now for the man's foot positions. So gentlemen, you have just danced your contra check. You will simply transfer weight back to your right foot, swivel the foot through a sideward position, pointing the left foot, and then you will transfer weight to your left foot for the beginning of your oversway. And now your footwork with your right foot will be toe heel, toe of the left foot, transferring weight to the side on the left, toe heel, pointing the right foot. And now for your technique. So gentlemen, from the contra check, it's very important not to take a large step back. Feel as though that the foot position of your right foot is going to stay very stationary from where you had it in that contra check. Now, as you transfer weight back, that will let the lady come back onto her left foot. Then I want you to swivel through your right foot and change the angle of your hip and your rib cage area. It's very important in dancing this switch that you think about getting the weight to that right foot before you lead any form of turn. Where men usually make the mistake is they try to turn before getting weight on that foot. So that's point number 1, is that you want to transfer weight back to that foot, swivel side, stretch strongly through the hips, and stretch through the abdominal muscles so that you're stretching through a leftward diagonal. Now, in all our shapes, we want to make sure that the head matches the angle of your spine. So I'm just going to take this at a slightly different angle. So from here, when I switch, I want to see that line from the right hip through the head. And then, of course, as you transfer weight to the left foot, we can go into our oversway, which will shape to our right. Now I'd like to invite Heather back to show us the ladies' part.
And now the ladies' foot positions for this figure. So we've just danced our contra check, which Victor has just explained to you. And what we're going to do from this position is our left foot is actually in front of our right foot at this stage. What we're going to do is slide the left foot forward, right foot is pointed to the side. And now from here we're going to transfer weight to our right foot and have the left foot pointed to the side. And the footwork for this will be ball heel to the inside edge of the toe, transfer ball heel to just the inside edge of the toe. And now the technique for this. And what I'd like to stress, ladies, is in the contra check, which we've just danced in our previous figure, the back heel on every contra check that you do will always be up. You will always have the heel up. Now then, depending on how dramatic the line is taken, or depending on where the man distributes the weight, I never want that back heel to go down, ladies, but from here you do have an option of keeping this heel flat or slightly releasing it from the floor. And I prefer to release the heel from the floor, especially if I'm going to go into a turning action here where I have to use the foot again. So from this position, I'm going to slide the foot to get to the inside edge, which gives me a little bit more power. And then from here, transfer the weight and then shape the body. And technically, I am feeling that when I transfer my weight, ladies, I'm going to take my head to the outer circle, follow the line of my left arm from this position before I change. And from here, what I'd like you to do is think of your shoulders relaxing down to your hips, then again letting the head follow the line of the right arm at this time, and then changing the head from right to left, following again the line of the left wrist. And all the way through this, ladies, as I'm producing my shape, internally, again, I can't stress this enough, You must be balanced. You must not rely on the man's body to produce your shape. A lot of the comments that we get is, well, we'll make the shape once he puts us there. But you mustn't rely on your body physically being attached to him, which is going to block him. We are following the man's hips, we are following the man's sides, we are following the man's frame. What we are not doing is gluing our center to him, because if we do that, he is not physically able to turn us. And I'll show you what happens. So at this time, Victor, would you join me? And we'll just try this. So one of the things I'm very, very aware of after dancing a contra check is not trying to attach myself back to Victor. I just like Victor to try and attempt to turn at this stage, and it stops me from getting me to my foot. He had to physically use muscular energy to get me there. So what I want to do at this time is take a much, much looser position so you can see our own individual balances. So from this position, once we get into the contra check watch, I'm going to swivel, and as I change from here, I'm on my own feet. I've got my own balance. Victor then moves again and changes into the oversway. I'm on my own feet. I've got my own balance. Again, being very, very aware of your internal balance.
Now, what I'd like to add to that, again, gentlemen, is when you transfer weight back to your right foot, again, try to keep the step very much in place because the lady must rotate around you. Use your body and head weight to guide her to that foot. That will get her into this position so that when you sway and change through your hip and your abdominal muscles, it will switch the bodies across one another. So if you change your shape too early to the left, that will not move the lady back to her left foot. So it's very, very important that you do that. Now, as Heather's just talked about in terms of balance, when you change through the hip, try not to push the hips up and forward because, again, you're going to block one another and push one another over. So it's very important. Even though they're lifted in your own plane of balance, not pushing against your partner. So I'd just like to illustrate that one more time. So from here, we'll take a slightly different angle, check, recover, and stretch. And again, from this position, we're going to feel that the hands and arms are very free. We're not pulling one another towards one another. So we're feeling we're over our own balance. So we'll try that one more time. So we'll go from the check and switch. And then from here, we just simply move across into our oversway. Now, we can use this action in many different dances. So we'd like to illustrate now a tango, so it will be a much sharper action. So we could use slow, slow, slow. And of course, if we're dancing our slows and quicks, right, in the slower dances, we can go slow, 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 slow. So as you can see, there are many basic timings we can use. That is your right side switch.